Turn it up. Real recognize real. Real recognize real. Turn it. Out it. Come on, Brad. Later. Come get this flavor, y'all. Real recognize real. Real recognize real. That's real. Y'all heard it. Real recognize real. Yes. Welcome to the Real Recognize Real Talk radio show with Franchella and my girl
Lynette.
Hey. So we are so excited because we have two awesome brothers right now in the studio, and but before we get started, we want to say that, we thank you for tuning in, from rocking with us and rolling with us, and we appreciate y'all. And don't forget to call in, because I know you guys have some questions. You have some comments about the topic today. So without further ado, Lynette, why don't you introduce our first guest?
So we would like to welcome Clayton Prince to the Real Recognize Real Talk radio show on Philly Hot Radio. So many of you may know Clayton for his role as Denise's boyfriend, who played Lisa Bonet, boyfriend in the long-standing hit show, The Cosby Show. I remember that episode because that was one of my favorites.
Yeah, better than that. Edmond.
I was like, I'll say Edmond. Yeah. So, Clayton is an actor. He's a writer. He is also a producer, a singer, and a director. I didn't know about the singing part. We might have to see.
Yeah, exactly.
He is from right here in Philadelphia. He also played in several hit movies such as The Last Dragon, Cover, Hairspray, on a television show called Another World, Dark Justice, also on the Wayans Brothers, as well as Spin City, to name a few.
I've been doing your homework, huh?
Yeah, you don't know? We stalking you.
So you now have your own production company called Magic Management. And under that umbrella spawned the web series that he produced called Cream, baby.
Yes, Cream. So this is why we are actually here today to talk about what's going on with Cream. So, without even going into what I know and what I've heard, I'll let you speak.
Well, let me split this way. So, Cream is it's an hour-long drama. We have 4 episodes up on Amazon Prime right now. I think Comcast has some interest in airing the episodes that we already produced. But Cream is a TV show about a man from Philly who owns a record label, and his baby mom is always trying to take the record label from him and use their adult children to help her take control of the record label.
Winston St.
There's a lot of
James.
original, yes. Winston St. James is the lead man from Philly who owns a record label, and so it's a lot of original hip hop R&B music that we got from a lot of people right here in Philly, and that's why I actually came back to Philly, because I thought, I know there's more talented people from Philly than just me, so let me go back home, use some of these people, and get them out there, and that was the idea behind Cream. So I produced some episodes. Actually, I produced a few episodes back in 2005, and that's when I had a copyright done. And but a lot of people just said, "Oh, this show's too risque. This is it's just too much out there. Can't do nothing with it." Then in 2008, I met this brother named Lee Daniels, and I pitched him my idea about this TV show about a guy from Philly who owns a record label. Baby mom was always trying to use the kids, take it from him. He said, "Man, that show's brilliant. I've never heard anything like that. Does anybody else know about this?" And I thought that was an odd question to bring up at a business meeting, but I said, no, not too many people know about it. That's why I'm trying to get out there. I was hoping he could walk to the network for me. So I didn't hear from him. So in 2010, I produced 4 episodes out of pocket, which is what you can see now on Amazon Prime. So that was back in 2010. And then I met this guy in LA who he said, "I can pitch this to you for the big networks." I was excited. And in September or October of 2014, he said, "I'm trying to pitch this show, but someone's saying that there's another show coming out that's a lot like this, and that your show is almost like a lower budget version of that show, so no one wants to touch it." And I was like, "What show is coming out like this?" Because there's no show on television about a black man from Philadelphia who owns a record label, who has family drama, and the family's trying to take this show from him. There's no show like that. So in January of 2015, I hear about the premiere of
Empire.
I was like, wow. Well, who came up with this idea? Lee Daniels, who I met, who had proof. I'm going to show you all the proof that I have, because I want y'all just to take my word for it.
Right.
I have all these documents right here proving everything I'm saying. So I said, wow, but just because someone has the same concept doesn't mean that they stole anything. That's law, and I respect that. So I watched a couple episodes. I was like, oh, he's using that storyline. Oh, he's using that storyline. He's using a lot of storylines. For example, in mine, Winston St. James has an adult son who has some mental issues. And every once in a while, that his mental issues, he'll say his name in third person. But he has more severe mental issues. But when you think about it, it makes more sense that someone who has more severe mental issues would say their name in third person. People who are bipolar do not speak of themselves in the third person.
Right.
But for some reason, everyone has swallowed that with his version of my show. Allegedly, like I said, allegedly his version of my show. Right. But with all those comparisons, that he changed little things, and even in court, we said, it makes no sense. If you're a writer, it makes no sense that you would write a character unless you did no research as a writer. That you would write a character who speaks about himself in third person because he's bipolar. And their defense was, well, maybe he's just a bad writer, but he didn't steal nothing. So if your defense is that you're bad, what kind of defense is that? But anyway, I digress. So with all those storylines that were similar, that's when I felt like, okay, I have a legitimate reason to file a lawsuit against Lee Daniels. So, but I had to have proof. So, first of all, I'll show you all this. This is a screenshot of my Facebook page from 2010. You can see the date on that, 2010, when I had a screening of Cream.
Can I see it?
Now, so I'm not doing all the talking.
Actually, I'm gonna have you hold it up. It's better to have you. Yeah,
Well,
you hold it
I'll
up so
hold it
that
up real quick
there
with
you
that.
go. There
All
you
right,
go.
So y'all can see that real quick.
Mm-hmm.
But if you ladies could read the date on that screenshot, and then read just the tagline and how I describe cream.
So
October
October
4th,
4th,
2010
2010 was when Clayton Prince posted his cream idea on his Facebook page.
Which is
And it
cream.
says, Winston St. James soon discovers that it's lonely at the top. He must defend his empire. Big Baller Records, from the greedy hands of family, friends, and lovers. How does he keep it all together? You'll just have to come out and see. Cream.
And that
Wow.
date was how many years before the premiere of Empire?
Empire.
But I called my show
Cream.
and I described it as Empire.
Right.
So that's one little piece of evidence.
Evidence.
Right? So, but even though I had that still doesn't prove anything. Even though I discovered that his sister was one of my friends on Facebook, which means access to this.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I didn't realize that until I was writing something about Lee Daniels. You know, you write something on Facebook and everybody's name pops up.
So this was 2010,
Right.
and when did Empire hit?
2015.
2015.
January 2015.
Okay.
That's when it
Okay.
premiered. And
Okay.
we did 13 episodes at first, 15 episodes first season. So now, so I had that, and I had, so I had those episodes, and like I said, I was writing Lee's name on my Facebook.
Okay.
You know, people's name pop up,
Right.
and it says, like, oh, you must be one of your friends. So the name Leah Daniels Butler popped up. And I was like, who's Leah Daniels Butler? So I clicked on it, and Leah Daniels Butler is his sister,
Mm-hmm.
who also has a credit in
In-
Empire
Right.
for being,
Casting.
casting director, and he also said in an interview once that she helped direct a couple of scenes.
Mm.
So now that's direct access, but that's just for the name and the premise,
Right.
and the episodes that I had posted. So then, but I met him at a function held here in the city called the Philly Pitch, which is run by the Philadelphia Film Office, and I'm friends with everybody down there. So I was very confident and felt I didn't feel like any kind of threat that anybody's going to steal anything. I mean, I had a copyright, so, and plus the people who run this event are my friends at the Philadelphia Film Office. And
Now this was after Empire's launch?
no, this is 2008 when I actually met him. But when it came out, I went back to the film office and I said, hey, a lot of people may not believe that I've met Lee Daniels. Would you guys write on your letterhead that I pitched him some ideas back in 2008? And here's the letter that they wrote me on their letterhead.
On a letterhead, because I used them a lot for my casting, so
There you go.
I'm familiar with this.
So there you go. So it's right there. And so they said that I pitched two at the bottom.
Feature films.
One feature film and
Right.
a
TV
concept
concept.
called
Cream.
Right. So they verified that I did meet him, and they mentioned his name. They mentioned him by name. So I thought, okay, that's great. So after they wrote me the letter, I said, yeah, and y'all also videotaped it, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they were like, why do you have all this sudden interest in the videotape after you met him so many years ago? I said, well, I'm just, so happy that, he has all this success, and I want to show people that I met him, blah, blah, blah. And so they said, we got to look for it. We got to look for this videotape. Evidently, they looked at it and they saw it, and I'm assuming they got a little nervous. So they started telling me that they didn't know anything about a videotape.
Oh, yeah.
And then they started saying, and now that we think about it, maybe you didn't even pitch Cream. Even though
So let's get this straight. So the letter from with the letterhead was what date was that?
February of 2015.
2015.
Okay, 2015.
So then they started saying that,
Was there at this point any filing of a lawsuit?
nope,
So somebody informed them at this point that you were inquiring about.
I'm thinking
I
that
went
they
there.
saw the video.
but when they looked at that videotape
Right,
and they
said,
see
"Oh,
what I
see a
pitched
similarity."
Got you.
was about a man from Philadelphia
Got
who owns
you.
a record label whose family is always trying to take it from him. And wow, doesn't that sound a whole lot like this show that everybody's praising Lee Daniels for?
Got you.
But because it was at their event, they had fear, allegedly,
Allegedly.
and I think
Mm-hmm.
that they might be held liable for holding the event and not having him sign anything, saying that he wouldn't steal anything. But these were my friends.
Right.
I wouldn't do that to them.
Mm-hmm.
I think I was going to them for help.
Mm-hmm.
But my friends started telling me in these emails that they don't know anything about a video. My friends started telling me that now that we think about it, we don't even think you pitched Cream. But my friends didn't know that one of the other judges also confirmed in an email that I pitched Cream at the event. So when they publicly said that they didn't know nothing about it, they didn't know that one of their friends was contradicting them by way of email. So and they said that to a bunch of people, and they kept saying, I don't know anything. And I said, well, do you remember who shot it? Do you remember who shot the video? And my friends at the Greater Philadelphia Film Office kept saying, we don't remember who shot that. We use so many people, we don't remember. We just don't know. I said, is a short list of people you use? They said, we really don't know. We really don't know. As you can see in those emails, they kept saying,
Okay.
we told, because other people started asking for me, because I was asking everybody in the film community in Philly, do you know the videographer who shot that event? So after they disputed that they knew, finally found out who the guy was. This guy named Rob Cates. Rob Cates has been, but from his stuff, Rob Cates has been working for the Philadelphia Film Office since 2004.
Okay.
So for somebody that they didn't know who it was, they forgot to check who they worked with since 2004.
Mm-hmm.
So these are my friends. So now I'm starting to think, wow, maybe my friends aren't so friendly toward me.
Mm-hmm.
So when I found the video, and so I called this gentleman up, and I said, do you have the video? He said, yes, I do have the video. I have the footage that you're looking for of you pitching Cream, but I can't give it to you because it's the property of the Philadelphia Film Office. So I was like, wow. So y'all, I need that video that you said you don't have. This man has it. He needs your permission because you own it. Yeah, they wouldn't give it to me. So then I had to get a subpoena.
I was gonna say you probably
I
can
had to
get
get a subpoena. So then we get a subpoena. Lord, they chopped that bad boy up so much that you never hear me say the word Cream at the event, even though it's been established by 2 documents
Right.
that I pitched Cream.
But are you describing it, whether you said Cream
They
or not?
no, they only showed the one.
Uh-oh. Somebody wants to talk
They only,
to.
oh, that's fine. But they only showed the one of it. As this letter said, I pitched 2.
We have a
Then they said they
caller.
pitched 1.
We
Hello,
have a caller on the line, so we're gonna put you through. Hi, thank you for calling Real Recognize Real at Philly Hot Radio. Who are we speaking to?
Sharon Durkee.
Hi, Sharon.
Hi, Sharon.
Hi, I have a question.
Hey, Sharon.
Okay.
Sure.
What are your thoughts on the lady who also says that she was the creator of Empire?
Are
I
you
don't know if
refer-
you're familiar with her.
Yes, are you referring to the woman from Detroit?
Yeah, so
Yes.
what's your take on her?
Oh, I have a strong opinion on all 3 people. There are 3 other people who filed. 3 other people have filed a lawsuit against Lee Daniels. So I'm going to answer your question, and I'm also going to encompass about the other 2, if you don't mind.
Oh, no.
Okay, because I want to be complete.
Yeah, absolutely.
I want everybody
Absolutely.
to know.
Yeah.
I've done a little bit of research on this subject. So there was one gentleman from New York. He wrote a script, and he envisioned Richard Roundtree playing the lead, and that he only had a daughter, and there was no Cookie type of character at all. And they went to be an original music show, and the judge turned it down.
I'm sorry. Can we disconnect you just in case we have other callers so you can listen to his answer through our website? Caller? Hello?
Hello.
Okay. So you can go
So
ahead.
please,
Okay.
please listen to his response on our website, and thank you for calling in.
I don't want to be long-winded, but I want
Right.
to answer as completely as I can. So his case was thrown out because for a copyright infringement case, you have to prove 3 things. 1, that you owned a copyright before anybody else. 2, you had direct access to that person. You have to be able to prove that you met with a person, and at that meeting, you have to be able to prove that you spoke about your project, i.e. an email or i.e. a letter who would collaborate, or a video, or whatever you can, but you have to be able to prove that. And the third is substantial similarity. How similar is your project to the one that you said that they stole from? So the gentleman from New York, he could not prove direct access, and the judge said because he didn't have a character that was anything like Cookie, and the Cookie was such a main character, he threw it out. And that was the end of his lawsuit. There was a gentleman from L.A. I don't know his name, and I hope I do not offend him or anybody in the audience, but he is a self-described pimp from L.A.
Okay.
And so he said that he met Terrence Howard at a hotel, and that he asked Terrence Howard to do a story about his life, and that he did some music, but mainly he was a pimp, and that he said the character of I was about to say Winston St. James, but Lucius Lyons was a lot like his character, his persona, and but that was thrown out because again he had no copyright, and it was like a third person access, and because Terrence Howard has no creative credit, Terrence Howard never claimed to write it or co-write it or put any ideas in. That kind of squashed that, and also the substantial similarity between that man's life and the show. There wasn't much. So then the woman from Detroit, she actually has gone the farthest out of all four of us, legally speaking. The lady from Detroit, I believe her name is Eggleston. She wrote a book on her life. She said that the character of Cookie was based on her. I don't know how much involvement she's had in music, but she said that she was a drug dealer and that she ordered a hit on someone, and she went to jail for I think roughly 17 years. I don't know if it's the same amount, but it was a very similar amount of years that she went to jail for. And she said she had a gay son, and she said that she was known for wearing minks and clothing that was like Cookie. And so a lot of people, she said, thought the character of Cookie was based on her and the book that she wrote. She wrote a book, and she asked a writer from L.A. if that writer would write a screenplay, and then shop that screenplay around for her. Her legal case was she had the copyright, which she did, which I don't believe predated mine, but she did have a copyright. And she said that her direct access was that all people in Hollywood must know each other, and that woman, that female writer, must have gotten her idea to Lee Daniels, and that she must have gotten some kind of deal through Lee Daniels for creating the story. And she had, I believe, 15 or 23 similarities that she claimed were similar. And she got past the 12B6 motion, and which is motion to dismiss, which pretty much says if someone is making a ridiculous claim, or someone's claim actually has merit. So the man from New York, he was thrown out at 12B6, motion to dismiss. The man from LA was thrown out at 12B6, and I also was thrown out at 12B6, motion to dismiss, because they said that my show was nothing at all like Empire, that no one could ever confuse the two concepts. Though they did, the judges admit that my copyright predated everyone's, and the judges did admit that there was direct access, that I did pitch the idea, but they said there wasn't enough similarities. So, but the law, just want to school y'all for whatever the laws, there's a law established in a case called Rice versus Fox Broad Inc., I believe. And that's a legal precedent where it was said that the greater proof of access that you have, the least amount of evidence you have to present for substantial similarity to get past 12B6, motion to dismiss. So in court, they did not deny my copyright, or they did not deny my access, which meant I should have automatically, by law, gone to what they call summary judgment, past motion to dismiss. I feel like somebody with influence did not want me to depose anybody, did not want me to go to discovery with anybody, because we have a whole lot more evidence than what I'm showing y'all here.
Right,
We have
absolutely.
a whole lot more, but I haven't even shown you all my evidence yet, because I still got these forms right here. But we have so much. But I hope that answered your question. I know it was very complete, but like I said, I'm not running from nobody's question. I want everybody.
Well, I mean, so many people will, say they have similarities in a film. They might see something and, think it's their life or whatever. The key with you is, but this is where you're having trouble proving it, is that you pitched it. So my thing is, like, I have different screenplays that I also have copywritten, but you have to actually know where to go, and you have to actually read someone's whole script to know that your story is the same as somebody else's story. I can't see where the copyright really protects us that much, because even searching, unless you know the exact name somebody told you, oh, there's cream out there, you should read that first, it doesn't really allow you to search on what the show is really about.
Yes, and it's funny because a lot of people who are fans of Empire, everybody has the same complaint about the show, that the first season was so much different from the second and third. Didn't everybody say that?
Yeah.
It was just like,
Completely
wow,
different.
it's almost like
if
someone
you're
else
just
wrote the
tuning
first
in.
season, right?
Right.
It's
If
almost
you're
like,
just tuning in, you're listening to Clayton Prince.
but everybody says that. It's almost like the great Lee Daniels couldn't continue the story that he allegedly wrote. So, but if you look at the 4 episodes of Cream that were shot in 2010, you'll see a very strong similarity between the first season of Empire and those 4 episodes. That's my point.
So who else was in that room when you pitched the idea to Lee Daniels?
There were a lot of people, and there are 2 other people who are willing to testify, but now the judges will not let anyone say that because we were thrown out at 12B6. But we told them. We have one sworn affidavit letter from one of the people who are willing to testify. And the judge was like, well, we will never hear them.
So my
Get a new judge.
Well, here's the thing. So we went to one judge, the Honorable Judge Slomsky, in the federal court building, and he went against this. His ruling was, and get here, he brought up the videotape in court, and one of my lawyers said, be that as it may, I would also surely like to address the video that was attached. And the judge said, okay. And we said, because I think there was a lot made of that in this same case. Your Honor, now you're asking not only to apply the 12B6 standard because of this, and the court pretty much said, well, because I don't want to read the whole thing, the judge said, well, I can't consider anything outside the complaint. It has to be either inside the complaint or attached to it. And because we're ready to fight it, and so my lawyer said, okay. So the judge said, a video that raises a credibility question is beyond the purview of what I can consider at this point. So my lawyer said, okay. And then that's perfect. I'll leave that argument alone. Judge said, okay. Then when he ruled against me, the judge said in his words, let's see, the allegation, however, is disproved by a video recording of the Philly pitch, the video he said he couldn't use. He says, it's disproved by the video of the recording of Philly pitch, which clearly shows the plaintiff pitched only the film and to the panel of judges, not Cream.
Wow. So he's basically saying that it's not the same show only because you had a $10,000 budget and they had a $10 million budget, allegedly.
No, that's what the appellant court said. So we appealed that. So in our proof and evidence with the appellant court, the other side admitted, okay, he was there, he did pitch it, and they admitted that. And the judge made sure they repeated that. And there's actually video of that online if you want to look up the federal courts. The judges repeated it, and they said that. They're not disputing my copyright, not disputing the access. They were only disputing the substantial similarity, which they're not allowed to do with the 12B6 point, especially if they already concede with access. But the judges said, well, you know, Empire had a scene on a yacht. You didn't have no yacht.
Oh my God.
That's documented. Those are their words.
Mm-hmm.
And they said, superficial similarities notwithstanding, we don't feel that Crane is like Empire.
Wow. So, question for you. So, when you went to pitch this to Lee Daniels, did you fill out any paperwork? Did you get a copy or a sign that you were, prior to asking for this document, that you were proof that you were there? Mm-hmm. And I'm sure back then, this was 2000 and when you pitched it, no, it wasn't 15, 2008. I'm not sure where we were with social media in 2008. But usually, you know, I carry my phone everywhere with me. If I'm with, I'm like, come on, can we take a selfie? I'm not sure where social media was at that point in time, but did you yourself, besides the copyright, protect yourself in going in and speaking with them? I put my phone on a record in a heartbeat.
I don't think maybe I was just being cheap. Maybe I didn't have a phone that had a video camera back in 2008. I don't know. I really don't remember.
But even with the pitch session, did they have anything, any forms that you feel? Yeah.
Right. I don't remember word for word. I don't have it in front of me. I can only tell you that I did not sign anything that said I would not hold anyone liable if my ideas were stolen. And Lee Daniels did not sign anything saying that he would not steal anybody's idea. And whose responsibility was that? It could be said, because I have to say allegedly talk, you know. It could be said, it could be argued.
Well, why do you have to say allegedly when you feel as though he's, for what?
For legalities, because I was ruled against.
Okay.
If I say something is an absolute, then that can be considered slander.
Okay.
And they can come back on me. So I have to say allegedly and I feel.
Okay.
On everything that I feel is the truth, I have to say I feel.
Okay.
So please pardon that double talk that I
Right.
must legally say, but that's why I'm using those words. So I feel that it was the film office responsibility to have Lee Daniels sign something saying he would not steal something, no matter what he's accomplished before.
Right.
And it was their responsibility for them to have me sign something
protect all the writers,
saying that I wouldn't sign, that I wouldn't hold them liable.
Right.
If one of the people that they hired stole something. So it's kind of like this. Let's say that you own a consignment store, yeah, and you hire me to be an employee to sell things that people bring in. Now, let's say you bought one of your things that you thought was valuable to him to sell. I saw that and I stole it. I'm his employee. I stole it. Who's liable legally? Of course, I am, because I would be the thief.
Right.
But it was in your store
yeah.
that happened. So by law, the people who are responsible, the store owner who hired the thief,
Right.
me, and me, of course, being the thief.
Right.
That's law.
Wow.
So in that argument, Lee Daniels would be responsible, but also the film office would be.
So what are you asking for in this lawsuit? What do you want to see accomplished?
Just what's fair. I want whatever the law says is fair for someone who's the creator of the #1 show and creates the concept. That's what I would like. It's been documented that I don't have it here, but everyone knows the story. It's a very famous story.
Right.
Where he says, Lee Daniels has claimed that he got the idea when a gentleman, Danny Strong, called him up and said, hey, let's do a movie based on Jay-Z's life. And that Lee Daniels claims that he said, yeah, well, let's make it a TV show instead of a movie, even though neither one of them ever worked on television. You know that? Yeah, I thought that was funny too. So, but you read my history in television. You know what my history is in television.
Right.
So, but allegedly, from what he has said publicly, that he said, well, we should make it a TV show. And this guy, Danny Strong, said it should be a movie about Jay-Z's life. And then, allegedly, Lee Daniels has said, well, we should make it like a Shakespearean thing, like King Lear. So it'll be a mixture of King Lear and Jay-Z's life. Now, so if Danny Strong got half credit for just saying, let's make a movie about Jay-Z's life, then the argument should be whose idea is more similar to Empire, a movie based on Jay-Z's life or Cream.
Right.
So anybody who's a Jay-Z fan, do y'all see any similarities between Jay-Z's life?
Not at all.
And so then by that definition, by law, shouldn't I have had at least half credit of creating it? If Cream is more similar to Empire, then Danny Strong. But I feel that Lee Daniels was using Danny Strong as a scapegoat because he knew he was stealing something.
Have you had a chance to speak to Lee Daniels, or?
I have not seen him since that day
Okay.
at the Philly pitch.
Okay.
So I've not been able to.
Okay.
Love to talk to him just like Dame Dash did.
Yeah,
I'd love to.
absolutely.
For some reason, I have not been able
So
to.
I had the pleasure of watching Cream. I did check out the first 2 episodes of Cream, and you can't compare because yes, a budget does change things, and so it's on a lower scale. But my thing was that the vision. So I'm saying that it's not that he allegedly stole your show Cream, but he allegedly stole your vision of Cream, which is about a Philly artist who built this empire. And you know, you had similarities with you having a disease and Lucius having a disease. 2 different diseases, but it's still a disease. You know, your mother, it was just a lot of different, you know, saying your artist was horrible, but I mean, on Cream, but it is what it is.
Well, you know, it's funny because a lot of people don't remember the storyline from the first season, but you're referring to one artist, Brother Okido.
Sky.
Yeah, Sky. Oh,
Yes, I know Sky Dennis,
Right,
yes.
So Sky Dennis played a character named Brother Okido, who was challenged in his performing ability. But in the first season, if you recall, what is her name? She's a white female singer. She was married to Kurt Cobain. Courtney Love.
Courtney Love, okay.
Courtney Love. Remember the first season? Remember she was a woman. She was in drugs and she couldn't sing no more. And Cookie was trying to work with her, and every time, just like Brother Okie-doke, right?
Right.
Wiki Day.
And it was she was trying to get her together.
That's
she,
right.
She
and
got some gold with this. Like, come on, I remember it.
That's
She was on drugs.
Exactly.
Wow.
Very much.
Wow.
Very
See?
much. So,
Okay.
y'all should be the jury.
Yeah, you don't know? Yeah, absolutely.
So
Okay.
that's yet another similarity. Thank you for bringing that up.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
There's a whole lot of similarities. So I feel that all he did was he took my work as a template, and he said, okay, instead of making this, you know, whatever, and he changed little things. Like I said, it's different diseases,
Right.
And the judges in the appellate court said, well, they're different diseases, and since they're different diseases that your character gets and Lucius gets, then they're going to go into different directions. But it's like, no, they're both lying to everybody about having the disease. They're both diseases that can be handled with medication. And they're both chronic. They both never go away.
So what's the
diseases nonetheless? Like, what difference
And
does it make?
and it's funny because at my meeting with Lee was like, "Why would you have the lead have a disease? That's crazy. Why would you have him so sick?" And he said, "That's never been done. Why would you do something like that?" I said, "Exactly, because it's never been done before."
right?
And
So,
plus, because it's television, you want sponsorship, and who has more money than the pharmaceutical companies? You went, "Oh my God, that's so brilliant! Oh my God, who else knows about this? Who else did you talk to about this?" He kept saying that at my pitch. But again, this was all on video,
Right.
so I wasn't concerned because my good friends at the Philadelphia Film Office had the video. So like you were saying, that you knew that you would have a video, you'd have your phone. I had my friends at the Philadelphia Film Office videotaping it. Because
you're a legend, friends.
my alleged friend. Because here's the thing, what you were saying that you would do, and you would have your phone secretly recording. See, that is by law illegal wiretap. So in court, you wouldn't be able to use that phone. But because the Philadelphia Film Office had an official cameraman in everyone's face, and it was known that it was being videotaped, I could use that if my friends at the Philadelphia Film Office would have given it to me.
Wow. So we got to wrap this up right now. We want to thank you so much for coming in and sharing your story with us. I'm sure it's helping out, so many people that are listening who are in the industry who might have similar cases or, trying to get into the industry and trying to protect themselves with what they have going on. So we thank you so much. And we yeah.
What advice would you give to people who have stories and, you know what I mean, like similar to?
Well, here's the thing that I really need people to get a little angry about right now, because my case has actually created a precedent, which means that anytime someone might steal your work and they change little things like the name of a disease or someone's name or little things like that, but still keep the same storyline, like we were talking about with the other storyline, still keep the same storyline. Because of my case, people can steal your work right now, bro. And it won't even matter how much money you put behind it, because all the laws that were established before are now, they don't mean anything because of the precedent that's been created from my case. So unless, and I have videotape, not only videotape of me meeting him,
Right.
but videotape of Cream, which predates his,
Right.
with all the similarities. And you ladies have seen the show, so you've seen all the similarities.
Right.
So imagine having all those similarities and proof of access and the copyright.
And
the law still not acknowledging it. So we're trying to start a petition. If you go to my Facebook page
Right.
at Clayton Prince
Mm-hmm.
on Facebook, please come to my Facebook page and sign the petition that we have, because we're trying to go to the Supreme Court on this.
And that's change.org, correct?
Yes, that's change.org.
Okay.
So we're trying to get that petition out there. That's really important. And I hope people just don't think this is about me.
Right.
Because right now, no one who's written a song, no one has written a play, no one has written a book will have any protection unless you have more evidence than I have. And I can't imagine anyone who has a script. So if you just wrote a script, brother, that's nothing compared to the video that I have, the actual video of Cream from 2010. Your script is nothing compared to that. So if they don't, so anyone out there who really does want to write something and who wrote from your heart, then I'm asking you to join this fight and sign up on change.org on my petition, because right now, because of this precedent, no one's going to be safe from this.
And there's so many people out there who can't afford to fight this. So we want to thank you for fighting, and we wish you all the success that you get what's due to you. And we're definitely praying for you here at the Real Recognized Real Talk Radio Show on Philly Hot Radio. So right now, we're going to take you out with this song. I think it fits the situation. And when we come back, we got Brad Baker in the building. We're going to talk to him about his hit stage play, Chasing Cash.
So we can do it all again, right? As far as
Don't do any song?
like, because I think the angle that you probably could have done it, because you seen it as a